gratitude practice. I hope that you've been finding these activities helpful, and we appreciate you joining us each day. Today, our gratitude practices will focus on the senses, and we will briefly review the building blocks of mindfulness as a starting point. There are so many resources that come to us through our senses, so I wanted to spend a few minutes just discussing how we can use these to increase our presence. So this is based on Marsha Linehan's work, as well as Pat Ogden and Janina Fisher, and they talk about the 5 building blocks of mindfulness, which I'm just going to explore with you a little bit, and then we'll get into our guided practice. So thoughts, our cognitions, our thoughts, these are really important when we're exploring present moment awareness. I often will ask people, what is the message you're sending yourself? And we want to become mindful of the message that we are sending ourselves. Oh, I apologize. I'm going to have to do a start over. I just realized I had these in because I was working with clients yesterday, so I'm not sure if you could hear me. All right, I'm going to start back at the beginning just in case. So what I was saying is just I'm grateful for you being here and joining us each day. And today our gratitude practice is going to focus on the senses. And we will begin briefly by reviewing the building blocks of mindfulness before we get into the gratitude practice. So this is based on Marsha Linehan's work, as well as Janina Fisher and Pat Ogden. And the first building block of mindfulness that we'll talk about is our thoughts. And our thoughts, our cognitions. I often will tell people, what is the message you're sending yourself? We want to be so mindful of, the thoughts that are running through our mind and the messages that we're sending to ourselves. I once worked with somebody who, when I invited him to reflect on his thoughts and do some thought tracking, he came back and he said, "Oh my goodness, I don't like this activity. You put all of these horrible thoughts in my mind." And I said, well, yeah, that's unfortunate that those thoughts are there, but I certainly don't have the power to put those thoughts in your mind. And if I did have that power, I'd be filling your mind with lots of pleasant and happy thoughts. But what that does when we start noticing is it helps us to become consciously aware of the messages that are looping through our mind, or the messages that we are focusing on. And this is really important for changing those messages, because 90% of the time we're in subconscious awareness and we are not consciously aware of what is happening. Our emotions is another building block of awareness. So becoming aware of tones, mood, whether we're feeling peaceful or grateful or angry, right? Whatever it is, allowing it to be there, but just noticing. Our 5 sense perception, which is what we'll really be focusing on today in our gratitude practices. But sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. We can use these senses to be grounded. We can use these senses, however, also to enrich our experiences. And then movement, so physical action, right? One of our therapists, Sue Grantis, who has a public health background, she says, we're wired to move and we're meant to be moving. And right now we're not moving, probably some of us, as much as we should be, because we're on technology. So hopefully with the nice weather, we're getting out and engaging. And then the last building block of mindfulness are body sensations. So these are the physical feelings that are generated internally. So it might be our racing heart or butterflies in our stomach, or one of my favorite feelings is that nice expansive feeling that we sometimes get in our heart when we're really grateful for something or really feeling connected. So I'm going to invite you just to engage in the mindfulness practice or meditation practice that we have planned for today. I'm going to invite you to relax back into your chair, settle your feet on the ground, take a nice deep breath into your belly, and we're just going to explore a little bit. We're going to spend about 15 seconds just exploring some sensory anchors to increase a sense of connection. One of the breaths that I really enjoy teaching is called ocean breathing. It's a comprehensive resource model technique by Lisa Schwartz. And I just invite you to imagine that you're fluidly breathing in to about the count of 5 and fluidly breathing out to about the count of 5. So we'll go with that for about 4 or 5 breaths, Just settling into that breath process. And I often visualize when I do this breath, the waves rolling in and rolling out, rolling in and rolling out. And as you breathe in and out, just notice the sensations that go with that. Notice where you feel that breath. Notice whether it feels fluid or constricted, and just allow for whatever is there to be there. You can experiment with your breath in different locations as you breathe in and out. Maybe breathing only through your mouth, or breathing only through your nose. Breathing into the chest, but maybe trying to breathe a little bit deeper into the belly. Just getting an overall sense of that breath coming in and going out. And noticing as you do this, our feelings, our sensations may change, and that's okay. We're going to shift to another sensory focus as well. So for just about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, we'll use the sense of sight to focus on the room around you. So opening your eyes, tuning into your environment, and just noticing what you see around you as best as you can. Noticing any pictures, any furniture, any colors. If you're outside, taking in the nature that you see around you. Or even if you're inside, perhaps you can see nature. Just taking a moment and continuing with the breath, but taking in what you see around you in your environment. Noticing what gives you a sense of appreciation or gratitude as you look around the room. Noticing where that feeling of appreciation settles in your body. For some of us, it may be in our chest or our heart. For some, it may be in our head. It may be wherever it is for you. Trying to tune into emotionally how you're feeling right now and physically how you're feeling right now. Again, not judging, just noticing. I'm going to invite you now to shift your focus and attention to your sense of hearing. Taking in a few moments to notice the sounds that you hear around you. Intentionally trying to listen to the sounds directly in the environment. And then as you sit with this a little bit, try to extend beyond your immediate surroundings and see if you can hear what's happening a little bit further outside of your environment. I'll be quiet so you can do that, and just continue breathing as you do. I can hear the birds singing outside of my window, and it sounds lovely. Bringing your attention now to body sensations. Just tuning in, right? Noticing any tension, noticing any comfort or relaxation, noticing the sensations in your fingers, your toes, your feet, your chest, your back, just your entire body, giving it a little tune in and just noticing. Noticing the temperature. Do you feel warm? Do you feel cool? Right? Do you feel calm or do you feel kind of agitated? Just noticing. A lot of times our body gives us these cues and clues to let us know what it's feeling and what is needed. And part of our job is being able to tune into this and be present. Just noticing and allowing. And if there's tension there or there's a strong sensation, you can breathe into that area and just maybe imagine that as you're breathing in some calm or some ease to that area. And as you're breathing out that tension. Breathing in calm. Imagine it wrapping around wherever that tension is and breathing out ease. And finally, experimenting with our additional types of sensory input. If we have an animal or pet at home, it can be calming to pet the animal or pet. Um, for this exercise, I'm just going to even invite you to imagine doing that. So even if you don't have a resource like that with you, but you have had previously, or a friend or someone you know has a resource that you enjoy, or there's an animal in the wild that you really appreciate and have gratitude for, just giving yourself a moment to imagine being in the presence of that animal. Taking a moment to take it in with your eyes, right? What you would see. Imagining reaching out and touching that animal and noticing what sensations you would feel. Noticing if you were to breathe in the smell of that animal, what it might smell like. Noticing any sounds you would notice. And taking a moment just to reflect on how that feels for you and your body to do that. And then I'll invite you to take another nice deep breath and bring your attention back to the room that you're in. And just noticing how that felt for you. If you're comfortable sharing in the chat box, I'll invite you to do so. Thank you to those of you who have checked in. Welcome here. Sorry I couldn't type and respond at the same time. But just noticing. So the mindful awareness piece is not judging the reactions, right? If something was hard, it was hard. That's okay. That's part of the human experience. If it felt uncomfortable, that's okay too. We notice that. We allow for that to be there. We might explore it a little bit later. If it felt comfortable and grounding, great, this can become a resource. So part of the work is helping to promote integration. We're trying to notice at that right brain emotional felt level and form meaning at that left brain logical level, which promotes integration. It's a form of bilateral stimulation, right? And that strengthens our brain, our body, our nervous system, so everything is working as optimally as it can be. We can use our senses to help with grounding, we can use our senses to help with resource installation, but we can also use our senses to help deepen our experience in any given moment. And, unfortunately, the overwhelming and fearful experiences that we have are already very sensory rich. So we want to make sure that we're making those positive or gratitude experiences or moments of joy as sensory rich as we possibly can. And by, inviting exploration with all of your senses, you're going to deepen that. So today we'll go through some different activities that will allow you to explore gratitude through your senses, including resource installation, which is a great resource for us. And then we also have our 1 o'clock wellness hour today, and participants will have the opportunity to win their own little sensory kit with some fabulous wellness resources. So we do hope to see you there, and I wish you a gentle and grateful rest of your day. Thanks for joining us.